Unicellular. Unicellular body. And you have to remember the example under the unicellular. First example, that is chlorella, C capital. First example, that is chlorella, underline. And the second example, Chlamydomonas. Chlamydomonas. Okay. So again underline the Chlamydomonas. First example we'll discuss, that is chlorella, and the another example, that is Chlamydomonas. So these are the two examples which is come under unicellular body organization. Thallus means what? Body कैसे होगी? So body, these are the unicellular. Now with respect to, we are talking about one point, which is the motile and which one is the non-motile. So when we talk about chlorella, basically these are non-motile green algae. Write down inside the bracket. Chlorella, these are the non-motile green algae. Unicellular hai, but these are the non-motile. I hope you remember when we discussed the Chlamydomonas, हमने वहां पे discuss किया था Chlamydomonas, it has the flagella, right? And if flagella is present, it means that body organization, these are the motile, right? So Chlamydomonas, write down inside the bracket. These are the example for motile organism. Okay, motile. So we are taking the two examples. Number one, unicellular, chlorella, Chlamydomonas. Out of that, chlorella and the Chlamydomonas motile hai, and the chlorella non-motile. So this part is clear, everyone? Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, chalo. Now we are talking about next condition with respect to first point को हम continue कर रहे हैं, that is unicellular. In case of this brown algae. So brown algae, inside this brown algae, unicellular structure, it is totally absent. No unicellular structure observed in case of brown algae, in case of Phaeophyceae, right? And another condition in with respect to red algae, we are taking example for the unicellular, and one example for the unicellular, that is Polyphyridium. Example, that is Porphyridium. Yeah, so these are the Porphyridium. Okay, so maximum question coming from green algae with respect to example. So ये brown algae का तो कोई example नहीं है, so no need to remember. But when we are talking about in case of this red algae, just remember only single example, Porphyridium. Got it? This point is clear, everyone? This point is clear with respect to unicellular body. Should I continue? Okay, Sanika. Sanvi. Okay, chalo. Same in under the third point, we are taking the second category for multicellular. So all these example for the unicellular, right? So now we are taking the second category for the multicellular. Okay. So B point.
Unicellular.
Sorry.
What is after the unicellular?
Unicellular means made up of this.
No, I mean, what is after that? In the red algae, it's only written P.
That is a Porphyridium. This is a single example under the red algae. Now we are talking about B, small b. Small b means under the thallus, under the third point, under the body organization. We are talking about second type. पहले हमने देखा small a, that is unicellular, and small b, multicellular. That is body made up of many cells. Got it? Small b for the multicellular. So now we are taking example for the multicellular. Under same point, under body organization. Okay, So we are writing the example multicellular. In case of this multicellular, one example which is come under the green algae, that is Spirogyra. I hope you remember, just we discussed Spirogyra. Basically these are the fresh water green algae, Spirogyra, as well as Spirogyra. These are the multicellular green algae, and I just want to tell you one thing, these are the having filamentous structure. मल्टीसेलुलर है और इसका स्ट्रक्चर कैसा होगा? These are the filamentous structure. Filamentous. So we discussed detailed Spirogyra at the end of algae. So one example, that is Spirogyra, who having the filamentous multicellular body structure. Now another example for the volvox. Volvox, these are the NEET 2020 question. I don't think so, Yash. Can you hear me clearly? Okay, Sam. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah. Now it's okay. Okay, Rishikesh. Okay. Okay, fine. ठीक है, चलो कोई बात नहीं. Okay, should I continue, Padma?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, chalo. Just check is this loading properly or not. So we are talking the second example, that is volvox. And in case of this volvox, basically these are the having colonial structure. So volvox hoga and volvox, these are the having colonial colonial multicellular structure. Colonial means it can form the colony like structure. So filamentous structure hai, large body, elongated body, Spirogyra, and the volvox, it is having the colonial structure, right? In this colonial structure, that is in case of this volvox, you have to mention one point, and these are the NEET question in this NEET 2020. And question is, that is the column ka tha, exactly. So whenever we are talking about this example, that is volvox, these are the colonial as well as these are the example of motile algae. Okay, these are the motile. So that's why volvox, these are the also called as rolling alga. I'm going out of the box, but please write down all this information below the green algae. Got it? So we are talking about volvox. Volvox, it is having the colonial structure. Colony formation hoga. Single, it's made up of the so many different colonies. Colonial structure. And motile hai. So that's why volvox, these are the also called as the rolling alga. Got it? Alternate name for the volvox. Done? Okay, chalo, very good. So now we are talking about, so we are talking about example for the brown algae. Chalo. So we are talking about thallus organization, that is small b part, and small b part nothing but we are talking about structure of multicellular brown algae, means example for the multicellular brown algae. So one by one we are taking the example. first one we are talking about, I just erase some part. I hope you don't have any problem. Okay. So in case of this in case of multicellular, first of all, I'm taking the first example, that is just we discuss unicellular structure totally absent in brown algae. Yes, जो कुछ भी structure होगा that totally structure it is depend upon, that is multicellular. मल्टीसेलुलर में भी बहुत सारे स्ट्रक्चर्स होते हैं लाइक ब्रांच्ड, अनब्रांच्ड, फिलामेंटस, कोलोनियल. बट प्लीज रिमेंबर whenever we are talking about multicellular brown algae, these are having branch structure. It is consist of the branched filamentous structure. Branch filamentous structure, right? And in this condition, you have to remember 4 examples. Number 1, fucus. Number 1, fucus. Underline. Number 2nd example, laminaria. L capital, underline. Laminaria. 3rd example, sargassum. 3rd example, sargassum. And the next one, 4th example, with respect to kelps. Okay, kelps. With respect to kelps. So I'm writing the information. What is the meaning of kelps? Kelps basically these are the common name for the brown algae. That's why हमने उसको underline नहीं किया. So fucus, laminaria, and the sargassum. These are the 3 what we say biological name, botanical name for the brown algae. So please underline that word. But kelps basically these are the very common name. Done मला काय? Denmark. Okay, Denmark. Chal. So write down information for the kelps. What is meaning of kelps? Chalo. So when we are talking about condition, I'm writing such information here, okay? Please write down below the kelps. Kelps nothing but these are the largest size brown algae. These are the largest size brown algae. And I hope you remember during the extra classes we already discussed approximately 100 meter, right? Approximately 100 meter. These are the size of some brown algae having height up to 100 meter. So largest size. So that largest size simply represented by a single word, that word called as the kelps word. Got it? What is meaning of this kelps? Kelps nothing but largest size brown algae. And you write down the information. In some brown algae, height up to 100 meter. Approximately it is having height up to 100 meter in some brown algae. Not all. We are talking about in some brown algae. Got it? Yes or no? Yeah. Okay, chalo. So one more information under that multicellular. So we are taking one more condition, one more example under the brown algae multicellular. We just discussed that is kelps word. Kelps nothing but that is large size brown algae. These are called as a kelps, and some brown algae is having approximately 100-meter height. So such type of the kelps, such type of the brown algae who having a larger size, simply these are also called as macrocystis. Underline macrocystis, right? And macrocystis word, it represent that is largest brown algae. Largest brown algae. Beta, Alia, we just finished the name for the unicellular examples. Example for the unicellular. And now we are taking example for the multicellular. Don't worry, Sanika will share you image. Okay, Sanika? Okay. So these are the some example with respect to, yeah, with respect to brown algae. So we are taking how many example? Remember, okay, we are taking that is multicellular branch structure. We are discussing total 4 examples: fucus, laminaria, sargassum, right? Again, we discuss one special condition, common name, that is kelp. Kelp means what? Largest algae, because brown algae, they lack the unicellular structure, unicellular body organization. जितना भी बॉडी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन होगा वो मल्टीसेलुलर होगा एंड ब्रांच स्ट्रक्चर होगा, ब्रांच फिलामेंटल स्ट्रक्चर. And such type of the structure commonly it is called as a kelps, and kelps means what? Brown largest algae, right? Height approximately 100-meter, and in other language that kelps also called as the macrocystis. Macrocystis means what? That is largest brown algae. So common name kelps, and that kelps also represent in other biological word, that is macrocystis. M capital, underline. Got it? This point is clear, everyone? This point is clear? Okay, chalo. Last category we are talking about with respect to red algae. Under the red algae, we are taking example for the multicellular. Example for multicellular. One example for the multicellular, that is Brachyspermum. Single word है ये. Brachyspermum. Write down in one sentence because I don't have place. That's why I'm इस तरह से लिखा है. So Brachyspermum. Brachyspermum basically this example of multicellular red algae. And whenever we are talking about Brachyspermum, even these are the freshwater red algae. ये fresh water भी है because just we discussed red algae mainly these are the marine water, few these are the fresh water, and the Brachyspermum these are the example of freshwater red algae. Got it? Okay, chalo. So these are the third point with respect to body organization, thallus organization, unicellular as well as the multicellular. So in this point we discuss which one is the motile and which one is the non-motile. Maximum question in this part coming from the unicellular and the multicellular green algae. Other question coming from the multicellular structure, because fucus, laminaria, sargassum, you have to remember these 3 examples. No question from the red algae from body organization. Okay, chalo. So ये था third point. Now we are talking about fourth point, structure. Should I continue? Should I continue? Macrocystis and kelps is an example of. These are the examples, beta. Macrocystis means what? These are the example. What is meaning of macrocystis? Macrocystis means we are talking about that is brown algae, large brown algae, macro. And common name, these are also called as the kelps. Common name. Okay, chalo. So now number fourth point, structure. Okay, so divide page into 3 sections. Means continue कर रहे हैं. That is green algae, brown algae, and the red algae. Continue. Now we are taking structure for Chlamydomonas. Structure of Chlamydomonas, and just we discussed Chlamydomonas. Basically, these are the unicellular motile green algae. Monas, Chlamydomonas. Underline. C capital. Chlamydomonas, right? So motile structure. So simply we are drawing the structure. Very simple. We are not taking too much detail because sometime what happen if you read if you solve the modules, आपको वहाँ पे कहीं पे तो images मिलेंगे. So you aware with that diagram. Yes, these are the diagram for the Chlamydomonas. Okay. No need to remember each and every part. Just remember what is the outline of that diagram. So whenever we are talking about the structure of the Chlamydomonas, it will be having pear-shaped body. Now there is a presence of this nucleus. So ये जो part हो गया, that part nothing but we are talking about the structure of the nucleus. Below the nucleus, now there is a presence of chloroplast. So this structure, these are the chloroplast, nucleus, and the another structure that is chloroplast. And we have to draw that is flagella. So above that structure on the head, there is a presence of 2 flagella. It's visible, blue color. It's royal blue actually. Blue color is visible clearly. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So this blue color, nothing but we are talking about the structure of flagella. So if you see such body, okay, एक nucleus present है, these are the nucleus present. Now there is a presence of this chloroplast. So typical structure, these are the typical structure of the Chlamydomonas, which is a unicellular plus motile structure because it is consist of the flagella. Got it? So these are the simple structure for the Chlamydomonas. Now we shift toward this brown algae, that is Phaeophyceae. In case of this Phaeophyceae, we are taking 3 structure. एक देखेंगे laminaria, another one that is fucus, and the third one that is dictyota, because it is having one typical structure that is frond, leaf-like structure. So first of all, we draw that typical structure. So पहला हम structure draw करें, number 1 for laminaria. First structure we draw the laminaria. Okay. So I'll start. So I'm giving the number 1, 2, 3. This part 1, this one 2, and the upper one third part. So जो base होगा, that base it is called as the hold fast. Hold fast. Hold fast who hold the substratum. Hold fast. Number second, that region it is called as this tip. Stem like structure. Okay. And the third one we are talking about that structure that is frond. And whenever we are talking about structure of the frond basically these are the green color leaf like structure. Leaf like structure. So these are the very simple structure with respect to laminaria. 3 sections होंगे. At the base presence of the holdfast. Now there is a stem like structure that is tip, and above this structure now there is a presence of the frond. Frond means what? It is having a leaf like structure. Green color का होगा, and definitely it has the leaf like structure. So that typical structure it is called as the frond. Okay. Now second example we are talking about with respect to fucus. Second example fucus. Fucus के characteristic feature होता है there is a presence of air bladder. And please remember, ये air bladder मतलब we are talking about air cavity. Animal में मत जाना. Air bladder. We are talking about something a cavity are present. So quickly we draw the typical structure of the fucus. There is a presence of this hold fast stick like structure, but ये multicellular है, right? So we have to draw a branches. So this part, base part, this number one part, number second part, these are the number third part. So same name है 1, 2, 3. First name that is hold fast. Number second name that is tip, and the third one that is frond. Okay, and now we have to draw a specific structure that is air bladder. So इसके अंदर जहां जहां पे frond present होगा, inside this frond small cavity presents, air cavity, and such air cavity, these are the nothing but called as air bladder. Got it? So where this frond is present, at that frond structure, basically there is a presence of the air bladder. Done? Okay, Sanika. What about the others? हो गया? Okay, चलो. Example. I'll draw that diagram structure here because place का problem है. So I draw the third structure at this column. Please draw in brown algae column. Okay. First example laminaria, second example fucus, and the third example that is dictyota. Dictyota. Okay. In case of this dictyota, basically there is a one common word. It is having highly branched structure of frond. Highly branched. So we are talking about third structure, that is dictyota. And what is the characteristic feature of the dictyota? It is consist of highly branched frond. Leafy structure, leaf-like structure. It is showing the highly branching structure. So we'll try to draw that structure. These are the presence of these hold fast. थोड़ा सा स्टीप का रीजन होगा, but now in this scenario that frond structure, it will be showing branching like this, branching. Okay, so now this typical structure, nothing but we are talking about frond, and frond, the characteristic feature, these are the highly branched. So first example laminaria, second example fucus, and the third example that is dictyota. Chalo. Done? Okay, Yash. Yeah, okay, Yash. Okay, okay, yes. Just to complete the diagram, I'll wait for some time. Meanwhile, I'll draw the one structure for the red algae. So here we are taking the example, one example, that is Polysiphonia for the red algae, Polysiphonia. And Polysiphonia characteristic feature basically it is having branch structure. Branch है मतलब multicellular है. Polysiphonia, these are the branch structure. Okay, branch structure. So these are the typical structure of the Polysiphonia. Yeah. So just cover the entire diagram. Once you done this part, then tell me. ना बेटा ऋषिकेश, हमने यहाँ पे देखो लेफ्ट हैंड साइड here we draw structure. Left hand side. Okay, okay, Rishikesh. Yeah. Just cover the diagram. Once you done that part, then tell me. Done? Chitra. Okay, beta. Rishikesh, done? Okay, chalo. How do you draw the structure of Polysiphonia? Very simple. Just branching dikhana hai, that's it. One long stem-like structure and branched structure. Very simple. Okay, Sanika. Yeah. Chalo. So next part we are talking about cell wall. So structure part is over. Body organization ho gaya. Multicellular, unicellular structure is part done. Now even we draw the structures also with respect to typical example. Next part, next property we are talking about cell wall. Kitna number hai? 6 or 7? 5, 6, 7. Cell wall. What is the number?
Fifth, ma'am.
Fifth one. Okay, chalo. So next part, cell wall. Number 5th. Okay. So green algae, brown algae, and the red algae. And the fifth characteristic, fifth property, that is presence of the cell wall. Now we already discussed about that is cell wall basically it is having the outer layer and the inner layer. So whenever we are talking about cell wall which is present in case of this algae, it is having the two layer. First one that is outer layer, or simply we can say that is outer wall, and the another one presence of the inner wall. So these are the consist of the two wall structure, outer and the inner wall. Okay. So quickly tell me, in case of this green algae, outer wall made up of which material and the inner wall made up of which material? Quickly tell me. Outer wall, these are the made up of which material? Hmm? Outer wall basically it is made up of the material that is pectate. Yes, Amog. These are the made up of the material that is pectate. And inner wall, simply these are the made up of the material that is cellulose. Okay. So outer wall pectate and the inner wall made up of the material that is cellulose. So these are the simple cell wall composition with respect to green algae. Now when we shift towards the brown algae ki condition mein we are taking the two condition, that is outer wall. First one that is CW cell wall, it is made up of the two kind of this material. Number one that is outer and the another one that is inner. Simply inner, these are the made up of the material, that material nothing but cellulose. Same scenario for the red algae. There is a presence of two types of this wall, outer wall and the another one that is inner wall. Same scenario, inner wall, these are the made up of the material cellulose. So there is a no change with respect to inner wall. Green algae, brown algae as well as the red algae. All these three algae, it is having inner wall, these are the made up of cellulose. तो यहाँ से question नहीं बनेगा, right? Because these are the common. Question coming from outer layer of brown algae and the red algae. Because something is a different point, right? So question kahan se aayega? Question it is coming from outer membrane of brown algae and the outer wall of the red algae. So remember this point. So we are taking what kind of this question, how that question can be designed. So whenever we are talking about that outer layer, first of all we are talking about brown algae. So that outer layer, nothing but these are the made up of some material that is called as the hydrocolloid material. So I'm writing such information. Outer layer made up of hydrocolloid material. It's made up of hydro. Hydro means what? Something water related. Colloid material. And whenever you are using the word hydrocolloid material, it means that is that material having good water holding capacity. That is good water holding capacity. Got it? So we are taking one point, that material nothing but that material is called as the hydrocolloid material. Hydrocolloid. What is the meaning of hydrocolloid? Definitely we are talking about the material who having the good water holding capacity. Right? Now what happened? Same scenario with respect to outer membrane of the red algae. Okay? Outer membrane of the red algae. Outer wall, outer layer of cell wall in case of this red algae. Again, these are the made up of the same kind of this material, that is hydrocolloid material. Same scenario. These are the made up of the material that is hydrocolloid material. And just we discuss what is the meaning of the hydrocolloid material. Material who having good water holding capacity. Protect the body from the drying, freezing, right? Because they having capacity, they create the moist condition. So they avoid the stress condition. So hydrocolloid, good water holding capacity. So what is the common scenario? Hydrocolloid material associated with outer wall, outer cell wall of brown algae as well as the outer cell of the red algae. ये तो common हो गया. Now we are talking about examples of the hydrocolloid with respect to brown and the red algae, because variation, these are the with respect to hydrocolloid example. Should I continue next part? Should I continue next? इसी को continue कर रहे हैं हम. Examples. Okay, writing part is done. We are talking about example of the hydrocolloid material in brown algae and the red algae. Okay, chalo. So here we are talking about examples. So we are talking about examples for the hydrocolloid material in case of this brown algae. So in case of this brown algae, we are taking the three examples. Number one, that is algin. First one, that is algin. Number second, fusin. And the number third, fucodine. Algin, fusin, and the fucodine. These are the three examples for hydrocolloid material. So these are the examples for material that is hydrocolloid material. Algin, fusin, and the fucodine. Got it? Done? algene, fucin, and the fucodine. Three examples for hydrocolloid material with respect to brown algae. Okay, chalo. Now we are taking the example for the hydrocolloid material in case of this red algae. So यहाँ के examples देख रहे हैं. So here again we are talking about the total three examples. First example, that is agar. Agar. Agar basically these are the one solidifying agent. These are the one example for the solidifying agent. We discussed later how that agar powder it is get obtained. So first one, that is agar. Number second, funori. Funori. And the number third one, that is carrageenan. Carrageenan. So carrageenan, funori, and the agar, these are the hydrocolloid material in case of this red algae. Got it? Done? Please write in systematic manner, okay? Because these are the, you have to remember only table. Comparison समझ में आ गया, so easily you can compare one point to another. So please draw table very carefully. Yeah, this part is over. Okay, Malaka, Rishikesh. Yeah. Yeah. So chalo. So continue. We are talking about some special condition with example. So focus on the brown algae. Please write down. Continue karo part under the fifth point, that is under the cell wall. Just we discuss two example for the brown algae. It's actually 3 to 4 example for the brown algae. But out of that, we have to focus only the two example. One example we are talking about, that is fucus, and the another example, laminaria. Fucus and the laminaria. These two examples, these are the rich source of iodine. So these two brown algae, these are the rich with iodine source. Got it? One question. Fucus and the laminaria, these are the rich source of iodine. And whenever we are talking about, in case of this red algae, just we discuss, there is a presence of some solidifying agent. What is the meaning of this solidifying agent? I hope you remember during the regular classes हमने आपको image share किया था, right? And now during the plant tissue culture technique, or in case of this animal tissue, so not animal, bacterial tissue culture technique, now there is a substratum is required. At the place of the soil, there is a requirement of the substratum who hold the plant roots. So that substratum, nothing but these are the one kind of the gel, and that gel which is obtained from red algae, and the name of the red algae means purified form of the red algae, that is agar. So we are talking about one solidifying agent, that is agar. Agar basically these are the solidifying agent which is present in the powder form. Normally what happen, red algae होता है, ठीक है? Red algae harvested, now it is totally dry. After the dry, now it is converted into powder form. After purification, that agar it is converted into white color powder. Okay, white color powder, agar, obtained from the red algae. When you add that powder inside the water, and when you boil that water, ultimately that liquid form of the water, it is slowly converted into gel form, because it having tendency, that agar powder, it is having tendency, if you boil with water, so ultimately that liquid form of the water, it is converted into gel form. And now that gel form, these are the act as a substratum for the plant growth under the plant tissue culture. So we are talking about example where agar obtained. So that agar obtained from the red algae, and we have to remember two examples because that is neat favorite question. Number 1, Gelidium. First example, Gelidium, underline. And the second example, Gracilaria. Gracilaria. So neat favorite question. Two examples of the red algae. Remember, two examples of the red algae where we obtain the solidifying agent, that is agar powder. So two example, number 1 Gelidium, number 2 Gracilaria. Got it? Remember this point. अच्छा, okay तन्मय, आपने देखा था? Actually, what happened? Sometimes this agar means highly purified agar. Sometimes it is used as a in ice cream making, in jelly, as a source of substratum, because it is obtained from the plant. So there is no any harmful effect of that. Okay, done. This part done. Okay, chalo. So now number 6, we are talking about plastid. Quickly tell me which type of this plastid present in green algae. We discuss 3 names. We discussed the 3 names. So I'm just mentioning the name here. So tell me which type of the plastid. Number 6 characteristic, we are talking about plastid. Which type of this plastid present in case of green, brown and the red algae? Quickly tell me which type of the plastid. In case of this green algae, yes, there is a presence of chloroplast. Plastid which is present, that is chloroplast. Okay, chloroplast. Now, in this condition, brown algae, there is a presence of pheoplast. Pheo, that is brown, colorless. Pheoplast. And in case of this red algae, there is a presence of the rhodoplast. So chloro, that is green, pheo, that is brown, rhodo, that is red. Chloro, pheo, and the rhodo. And in all this scenario, definitely when we are talking about what is the condition, what is the scenario. So all this plastid basically A granule plastid. And what is the meaning of A granule plastid? Yes, tell me. These are the example, that is chloroplast and all that plastid. These are the A granule. What is the meaning of A granule? Grana absent, right? A granule means what? We are talking about, that is grana absent. So in all scenario, all these 3 conditions, these are the presence of this A granule plastid, that is grana totally absent. And here also there is a presence of A granule plastid. Got it? Yes, absence of grana, true. हाँ यश, थैलाकॉइड्स these are the present in unorganized manner. And I hope हमने इसके नंबर भी देखे थे कि A granule होगा, but now in case of this chlorophyce 2 to 20 thylakoids present, in case of this pheophyce 3 to 5 thylakoids are present, and in case of this rhodophyce only single thylakoid is present. So simple name, that is chloroplast, pheoplast and the rhodoplast. Got it? Chalo. Number 7 point, pigments, photosynthetic pigments. Should I continue? Okay, chalo. Write down number 7 part, photosynthetic pigments.
Ma'am, scroll up.
No, I just erased beta. What you want to write down? Huh?
I wanted to write that full thing.
Sorry? A granule plastid, A granule plastid, A granule plastid. That is grana absent. Common for all. A granule.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay? Huh. Melaka, I shared this screen. Just check beta. हाँ यश, see, in case of this chloroplast, means chloroplast 2 to 20 thylakoid, 2 to 20 thylakoid, ठीक है, यहाँ पे प्रेजेंट हो गए 3 to 5, and in case of this rhodo there is a presence of only single thylakoid. Check the previous notebook, you already wrote all this information. Green algae 2 to 20 thylakoids, brown algae 3 to 5 thylakoids, and now in case of this rhodo single thylakoid is present, only single. Okay, done. ठीक है, चलो. So back to pavilion, we are talking about next type. Next type means next feature with respect to photosynthetic pigment. Next part with respect to pigments, that is photosynthetic pigments. Okay, so quickly we are talking about one by one how to remember this scenario. In all common hoga chlorophyll A. So first pigment which is common, that is chlorophyll A, and I hope you remember chlorophyll simply it is represented by CHL. CHL stand for what? Chlorophyll. So chlorophyll A, these are the most abundant, most dominant, which is present in all type of green plant. Even in case of bacteria, photosynthetic bacteria, cyanobacteria, all bacteria they consist of the chlorophyll A, because these are the most common, most abundant, present in all. So सब में common होगा chlorophyll A, right? Now second scenario, second pigment, that is chlorophyll. B, chlorophyll C, and now in this scenario chlorophyll D. Very easy to remember, BCD. ABCD के sequence से चले जाओ, okay? BCD. Now next condition we are talking about, there is a presence of another pigment, third pigment, that is carotene. Carotene, same pigment is present in carotene, and in last condition there is a presence of phycobilins. There is a presence of phycobilins, okay? And when we talk about phycobilins, we have to discuss, we have to write down total 3 examples, that is phycocyanine, allophycocyanine, and the phycoerythrine. नाम कहीं सुने सुने लग रहे हैं? Cyanine, phycocyanine, erythrine. Yes or no? In case of BJ, in case of cyanobacteria, we discussed this name, right? So same kind, yes. In case of BGA, so same example we are talking. Phycobilins, basically these are the 3 types. Okay, 3 types. Number 1, phycoerythrine. Phycoerythrine. Which color pigment? Red color. Okay. Second आएगा हमारा phycocyanine. Word आ गया cyanine. Cyanine means which color? Blue color. So phycocyanine, blue color colored pigment. And the next one, that is light blue color, allophycocyanine. Allophycocyanine. Again, these are the light blue color, or simply you can write down that is blue color. Got it? So simple hai, that is phycoerythrine red color, phycocyanine blue color, and the allophycocyanine, that is which color? Again blue color, that is light blue color. Now next pigment we are talking about with respect to green and the brown algae. Now in case of this, along with keratin, there is a presence of one other molecule, that is xanthophyll. X. There is a presence of this another pigment, that is xanthophyll. So xanthophyll present in case of this green algae. But now what happened? In case of this brown algae, थोड़ा सा modification होगा, quite modification. Xanthophyll ही है, specific type of the xanthophyll. But now in this condition, we are talking about very specific, that is fucoxanthin. There is a presence of this one xanthin. That xanthin nothing but is called as the fucoxanthin. Okay, and fucoxanthin means what? These are the one what we say modified xanthophyll or one specific type of the xanthophyll. Similar like a xanthophyll, but name change हो गया because in case of brown algae we are taking example fucus. Yes, fucus. So from the fucus, that name is get derived. That name it is called as the fucoxanthin. So again, these are the similar type of the xanthophyll. Got it? This point is clear, everyone? Okay, chalo. Very good. So these are the next pigment that is we are talking about, that is photosynthetic pigment. AAA, PCD, carotene, phycobilins. Three types of phycobilins: phycoerythrin, phycocyanin, and the allophycocyanin. And the next one, that is xanthophyll pigment and the fucoxanthin. Fucoxanthin, these are the associated with the brown algae. Chalo. Now next number 7, reserved food material. Should I continue? Yes. Should I continue? Okay, chalo. So number 7. Green algae, brown algae, and the red algae. Okay? And number 7 part, that is reserve food material, storage food material, reserved food. In case of this reserved food, very much common, which is present in case of this green algae, there is a presence of this starch plus there is a presence of the oil. So starch and oil, these are the common reserved food material in case of the green algae. When you talk about the brown algae, in case of this brown algae, we are taking the code word MOL, mole. Okay? M stand for mannitol. Mannitol. Mannitol, basically these are the one sugar, artificial sugar, that is alcohol sugar. एक sweetener है mannitol. Now O4 stand for the oil and L stand for laminarian, because we discussed laminaria. Laminaria, example of the brown algae, तो वही से name derived हुआ है, laminarian. Okay, laminarian, these are the one type of the carbohydrate, nothing one. So MOL, mannitol, oil, and the laminarian. Another, in case of this red algae, जहां से question बनेगा, presence of one specific starch. And now these are the NEET 2020 question. ये अभी का question था. The storage material which is present. Huh?
Ma'am, that MOL, these are all different or it is a single word?
अरे बाबा, M stand for mannitol, O stand for oil, L stand for laminarian, ऐसे है वो.
Okay, ma'am, I got disconnected, that is why. Okay, ma'am.
अच्छा, okay. नहीं, mole means these are the one key to understand, key to remember.
Okay.
Okay. So we are talking about one question from this NEET 2020. Storage of body, reserved food body, in case of this red algae, specific type of this starch, that is floridine starch. So यहाँ पे present होगा starch, but now these are the not is normal starch, these are the floridian starch, floridian. And when you talk about the floridian starch, these are the structure resembles to glycogen and amylopectin. Can you tell me कहाँ पे present होगा glycogen और कहाँ पे present होगा amylopectin? Can you tell me this point? So we are talking about floridine starch. Basically, these are structure resembles to number 1 glycogen. Glycogen, basically these are the storage food of animal, right? And another one, that is amylopectin. Amylopectin, these are the one structure of the starch. Yes or no? Yes or no? Amylopectin, alpha amylose, beta amylose, remember, these are the associated with the structure of starch. Close to cell wall, नारे बाबा, storage form के बारे में बात करें बेटा. Glycogen, these are the storage of animal, and the amylopectin, these are the storage form in case of the plant, right? So what is the meaning of the fluoridine starch? Fluoridine starch is that the structure resembles to glycogen as well as resembles to amylopectin. Got it? Yes or no? So as it is question tha, this structure resembles to what? So this structure resembles to glycogen and the amylopectin. Okay, Sanjana. Chalo. Yeah. So next part, there is a one question with respect to reserved food material. इसी में continue करें. So when we are talking about reserved food material, in case of the green algae, one is starch, another one is oil, right? Now what happened? Inside that green algae, there is a presence of some starch storing body-like structure. So that starch, how that starch can be stored? There is a presence of starch storing body. And that starch storing body, simply these are the called as pyrenoids. Please underline this word. There is a presence of the typical structure that is pyrenoids. Pyrenoids, these are the already asked in NEET examination. So this year they asked about the fluoridine starch, but pyrenoids basically they already asked in previous examination, which is a reserved food material. And what kind of this reserved food material? These are the starch storage body. Got it? These are the starch storage body called as the pyrenoid associated with green algae. Clear this point, everyone? Yes or no? So you have to remember two examples. Number one, that is fluoridine starch, and the number second, that is pyrenoid. अभी तक brown algae storage के ऊपर कभी भी question नहीं बना है. Two questions coming. One question with respect to pyrenoid, another question with respect to fluoridine starch. Okay, chalo. Now number 8 point. 7 part is over. Now we are talking about number 8. Vegetative reproduction. Reproduction, and more specifically we are talking about vegetative reproduction. Okay, now very common vegetative reproduction which is present in all these three types, that is fragmentation, fragmentation, fragmentation. So nothing but we are talking about one type which is present in all: fragmentation, fragmentation, and even in case of this red algae there is a presence of one type, that is fragmentation. So vegetative reproductive means what? Leaf-like structure, stem-like structure, or the root-like structure, they undergo the reproduction, they undergo the division. Means plant का कोई body part है. For example, there is something a body part from the algae. It detached from the mother body, and now that small body part they undergo division, and that small part capable for forming a new plant. Fragmentation. एक leaf था, leaf detach हो गया, and from that leaf formation of the entire plant. Such process, these are called as a fragmentation. Got it? This point is clear, everyone? Yes or no? Very easy point. That is fragmentation, which is present common in all. जहां जहां पे common होता है वहां से question नहीं बनता. Remember this thing. Okay? Always question coming where you have to recall that sentence. Something should be a variation, something a special condition. Maximum time question from coming from that area. So next part we are talking about number 8. Number 9. So number 9 part with respect to asexual mode of reproduction. So we discussed number 1 vegetative reproduction. Now we are talking about next reproduction, that is asexual mode of reproduction. Asexual, where single parent is involved, right? Now what happened whenever we are talking about asexual mode of reproduction? Now there is a presence of the mitospore. क्या present होगा यहाँ पे? There is a presence of the mitospore. mitospores are present. Can you tell me what is the meaning of spore? Anyone? Can you tell me what is the meaning of this mitospore? What is the meaning of mitospore? Meiospore, mitospore, remember, we discussed this part. Product of mitosis, yes Sanjana. Spore which is formed by the mitosis. Such type of the spore, these are called as the mitospore, right? And please remember, in this scenario, mitospores are present and यहाँ पे जो mitospore present होंगे, that mitospore basically these are the motile, and that motile spore, motile mitospore also called as the zoospore. Got it? Zoospore. There is a presence of the zoospore. That's it. Because these are the motile. Now, under the brown algae, again there is a presence of this mitospore. यहाँ पे भी present होंगे, mitospores are present. And now, in this scenario, mitospore which are the present, these are the mitospore, nothing but we are talking about, there is a presence of the zoospore. And zoospore means what? There is a presence of the motile spore. So in both scenario, in case of green as well as in case of this brown algae, presence of the motile spore called as the zoospore. But in case of this, थोड़ा सा सिनेरियो चेंज है. यहाँ पे जो स्पोर्स प्रेजेंट होंगे, नाउ वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट देयर इज अ प्रेजेंस ऑफ दिस माइटोस्पोर. डेफिनेटली यहाँ पे माइटोस्पोर प्रेजेंट होंगे, बट नाउ दैट माइटोस्पोर, these are the not motile. All these mitospore, these are the non motile. Motile spores, these are the absent. तो यहाँ पे कौन से प्रेजेंट होंगे? There is a presence of this non motile spore. And whenever we are talking about non motile spore, it means that flagella, typical structure which is responsible for the locomotion, movement, that typical structure, it is totally absent. Got it? This point is clear, everyone? Okay. In all scenario, mitospores are present, but change कहाँ पे हो रहा है? First and the second, presence of the motile spore. Spore means what? It is having the flagella. But when you talk about mitospore with respect to red algae, with respect to rhodophyceae, these are the consist of the non-motile spore, non-motile mitospore, where flagella absent. Got it? This point is clear? Sanika, Amod, Malakai, Tanmay, Sanjana, Rishikesh, Yash, Padma, Sam, Sanjana. ओके, ठीक है, चलो. सो थोड़ा सा पार्ट बचा हुआ है विद रिस्पेक्ट टू डिफरेंशिएशन. One point that is sexual reproduction and the last point that is economic importance. So next class we continue with economic importance as well as the sexual reproduction, and along with that we discuss some special condition in case of Spirogyra, in case of Ulothrix, in case of Chlamydomonas. ठीक है. So with this we this session, today's session we end with this type. Further part will continue in next class. Is this any doubt from today's class?
Thank you, ma'am.
Is this any doubt? No. Okay.